All right, so I said it once and I'm going to say this again, but the ambient folk genre is an absolutely breathtaking genre to listen to. And artists like Bon Iver, Novo Amor, Hazlett RY X, they're absolutely killing it in this genre right now. And today I was kind of feeling inspired to produce another song in this genre. So today I'm going to produce an ambient folk song from scratch. Anyone can do this from their bedroom. Let's get started. All right, so I kind of just messed around with a few melodies here. There's one in particular that I kind of like, very simple. But the tuning on this guitar is not so simple. Basically, the tuning I got going on is D, A, E, A, C sharp, E. And I have the capo on the 5th fret. And I am not putting the capo on the low E string. So it sounds like this. Very beautiful sounding tuning. So I'm just going to play the riff I have here. Very simple riff, nothing crazy. And we're going to turn this riff into a full song. We're going to progress it. I don't really have a huge plan, but typically these videos are kind of showing my process, how I get from that to a final finished product. So I'm going to record this. Like I said, this is going to be recorded on my Fender Stratocaster. I got the pickup on the bridge pickup position. I'm recording it directly into my Focusrite Claret 8 pre. And we will pull up guitar rig. I'm going to start with this clean chorus guitar preset. I'm going to load up 2 guitar tracks, pan each of them left and right. Basically, this is what the preset has going on. I'm not sure. I might have messed around with this a little bit, but if you want the settings, they're right on screen right here. And we're going to record this here. Okay, and then for this take that's going to be panned left, I'm going to play it a little bit differently just to have some sort of variation. So I'm just going to play it like... So let me record that. Okay, so it wasn't played perfect, but I kind of like the little imperfections. Like these more indie genres, you hear a lot more imperfections in the recordings, and I think they purposely do them. You know, obviously, if you're playing the wrong note, that's not a good imperfection, but like, you know, one of the notes, I hit another string, but it was, you know, it was in tune, so let me find it. Like right there, I kind of hit the wrong note, but it was in key, sounded good. I think that imperfection is fine here. So next, I want a little bit of a pad. What I might try and do here, this might be a nightmare though, is record my violin. I suck at playing violin, but I might try and get a pad. I don't really need to record anything really good, but I'm just going to add like a bunch of effects to it and then see what happens. So let's go get the violin. Okay. This is either going to be an absolute win or an absolute fail. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing here. I've always said I wanted to learn how to play. I don't know how to play, but I will attempt here. Okay, let's see what this horrific violin playing sounds like. Sometimes you just need a little part that sounds good and then we can loop it. So let's see. Okay, so what I did is I found a part that was half decent here and I just looped it. Here's what it sounds like without everything. So absolutely horrible, but when you add a bunch of stuff onto it, so basically like the main sound, like I know you've seen all these like SSL channel stuff, but mainly to get this sound, like there's a few compressors here. I don't need this de-esser. This is actually my vocal chain. So basically I'm just using a reverb here. I got the wet at 0 dB, dry all the way down. That's for the reverb, and I'm using this vocal plate. And then I also added this ring shift here, basically just a Logic stock plugin. And I basically just put the plugin on and I didn't mess with anything. So this is what that sounds like. kind of almost gives it like a phaser or like a flanger effect. And then I'm just going to put this way, way, way in the background. And then this is what we will get here. All right, next I want to get like a nice splice sample of like some birds chirping in the background or something along those lines. So I'm just going to go into splice and just search like birds chirping, ambient, something like that. So I found this birds chirping one on Splice here. Here's the name of it if anyone wants to use it. Basically, it just kind of adds like a little bit of ambiance in the background when we're doing these kinds of songs. The intro and like the whole song really establishes like a vibe. It's a very chill, almost nostalgic, melancholy vibe. It's hard to explain. But that's what I'm trying to do here. And these birds chirping kind of feel like you're out in nature, you're in like a valley or like some sort of canyon or into the forest or something. And it just makes you feel that sort of nostalgia, or it just makes you feel something. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And I'm going to get some vocal harmonies in behind here as well, that are going to be like really airy and like reverby. And we're going to establish that vibe here like very quickly. So here's with the birds chirping. All right, so next, I think I'm just going to throw on some harmony vocals here just to get this intro kind of down. What I'm going to do is just kind of record a bunch of harmonies, kind of see what sounds good, and we'll go from there. Okay, now I'm going to do like a ooh, just all the way through. I just realized I'm recording this on my acoustic guitar track that I was messing around with. And I will be honest, it sounds so good. That was one of those like happy accidents. Like listen to this. Like it just sounds chill, man. I love that. So basically, to get this vocal sound, I'm running Guitar Rig. I have like an acoustic guitar, this acoustic multi preset. I'm running, this is just like an impulse response for a Gibson. Just a match EQ, I think, for a Gibson as well. Channel EQ cutting off most of the highs here. I got a compressor, just a Logic one, just doing like -5 dB of gain reduction. And then a space designer, basically just with these settings, this might just be the default reverb that comes up. And this is kind of what it sounds like. Obviously, it's a bit out of tune. I got to tune them, but I really like that. It's like really kind of puts you in a space, you know? That's cool. I love it. So anyways, I'm just going to finish these off. I'm going to do like a high one, like and then I was thinking, I wonder if I could get like a wind sound, like as if there's wind. I don't really want to do this on Splice. I kind of just want to see if I could do something with this microphone. So kind of subtle, but it's kind of cool. Like, do I like it? Maybe, maybe not. So basically, I don't want to get too complicated because I know sometimes when I get too complicated with harmonies, it kind of brings away from like what the original idea that I had. So I'm going to keep these harmonies simple. If I feel like adding harmonies later, then I'll do that. But I think this is sounding good. So I'm just going to keep it at that. I kind of do like the little wind noises that I was making. And I'd say like, let's get into the first verse here. Okay, so there's some markers here just so if you're looking at my screen, you can kind of follow along as to where we're at. Okay, so what I might do next is just find like a pedal steel sample on Splice, just something like super easy. Obviously, the guitars will continue. So I'm just going to copy these guitars over into the first verse here. And you don't want any popping noises, obviously. So like make sure you kind of fade out, fade in if you are looping sounds like this, just so it doesn't sound bad. This one is not looping right, so I'm just going to re-record it. Okay, so I've kind of copied and pasted everything. the arrangement. So there's going to be another instrumental section. So I'm just going to copy and paste these little oohs and ahs over to the instrumental side and just kind of start arranging this track. Next, we will add in a bass guitar. I'm wondering where we should put the bass guitar. I'm just going to listen through and see like what the best spot it would be. I'm thinking right where the instrumental part comes in. So basically, we're going to do like an intro. We're going to go into a first verse, and then it's just going to be an instrumental. And I think on the instrumental part, we want a few changes to happen. So it'd be cool if we introduce the bass section in here, and then also maybe introduce like a ukulele or a mandolin or something. I'm going to mess around with that, but I'm thinking let's start with the bass and see where we go. So gotta love only tuning the one string that you're using because I'm a lazy producer. Okay, so basically I'll be singing here in this first verse, and then we'll move right into this instrumental and the bass will come in. So I think it'll sound cool. Oh, and for that bass, I'm using my typical Godin electric bass, and I am just going directly into my interface, and I'm using Guitar Rig, this Drive Invader preset. All right, so I got this little Denver ukulele. I bought it for like $70 Canadian, which if you're Americans, probably significantly less because our dollar is terrible. So I'm going to just mess around with some melodies, see if I can find something cool for this instrumental, just to kind of like add some sort of ear candy, like an instrumental just sounding like this. I want to introduce something just so it's not boring and the listener doesn't get bored. All right, so we're getting there. So that's kind of the mandolin pan left and right coming into this instrumental part. Kind of just adds like a little bit of texture or something there. So on this second verse, I'd like to also add like a kick drum. Just we're kind of building up to that big chorus. So I found this kick on Splice here. What's the name of it? Kick Mahogany Muffled Soft. If you want to search for it, here's what it sounds like on its own. And here's what it sounds like with everything. Very subtle, nothing crazy. We don't want anything too crazy here. So next we want to build up into this chorus. So I'm thinking, maybe we just do like a snare. I'm just going to use the Logic SoCal kit for that. And then we probably want some risers and stuff. So basically to get into that chorus, it's going to sound like. And then as well, with the velocity of the notes, I just started it with a low velocity and brought it up. So on its own, you can see it's getting louder. And also to build this up, I'm just going to do like a guitar chug here, like. I'll probably also do a reverse reverb on whatever guitars I use on this chorus. So next, let's work on the chorus. So I'm thinking I found these. I'm using Overloud THU here, and I'm basically using this classic rock fancy pop chords preset. I really like the sound of it. Here's what it sounds like. So I'm just going to basically do some one-time strums. We're going to layer it and build it up to sound big because we want this chorus to sound big. The vocals a lot of the times kind of do the heavy lifting, but I'd like to get the guitars and all the layers kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting with the vocals as well. So just in case I can't get the vocals dialed in as good as these other artists. Let's get a ride cymbal going here. I kind of, with the velocity, I kind of did every second note was a little bit quieter. So like it sounds like this. And with the mix, just kind of adds to that frequency spectrum a little bit. So next, I'm just going to do like a little guitar in the background. I'm going to use the same kind of classic rock fancy pop chords preset. And I'm just going to pan it so it's panned in your right ear. Okay, that sounds half decent. This chorus is really starting to kind of build out now. So I think I'm done with real instruments on this chorus. And so I also added the original melody I had in here on the guitar. You can't really hear it, but I don't know, maybe it adds something, maybe it doesn't. Thinking of like putting in a synth in the background here. Should I do it? Should I not? I guess there's not really any rules when it comes to this stuff, so maybe I'll try it, see what happens. Okay, so I'm just gonna look around for some synths. So I have this 80s for Serum. Was kind of messing around and I found this cool brass preset. It kind of sounds cool. So here is the preset here. So if you want to copy it, just pause this video. It actually sounds pretty cool. So this is what it sounds like. And I just added a space designer on here, and I also added a side chain compressor. And the side chain is going on every quarter note. So that's why you can hear it kind of pumping. So every time the kick comes in, this kind of pumps out. And I just found another preset here. This sounds like this. That is also a preset from that 80s pack. This is the preset here. If you like it, can't really hear it too much. If you were to copy one preset, I'd copy the first one, but together, this is what they sound like. And with everything together, this is what it all sounds like. And the only other thing that I mentioned earlier was that reverse reverb kind of going into this chorus. So what I will do with these strums, I'm just going to, actually, you know what? I might not even reverse reverb. I might just grab each individual strum and just reverse that. So those reverse, I kind of just did a little fade. This is what they sound like on their own. And then I kept the overloud THU preset on, and there's a little bit of a delay there. You probably can't hear that in the mix, but... So I think this track is ready for some vocals. What I'm going to do tonight or in the morning, I'm going to sit down and write out some lyrics, get some melodies going, and hopefully I can find something that I like. And then I will start recording all the vocals on here. There's going to be a lot of layers. I want to get that Bon Iver sound where it's like lots of layers, high pitched. And yeah, so my camera's going to die. So we will get recording some vocals in the morning. All right, we are back and ready to do some vocals today. I went through, kind of made some melodies, some vocal melodies. I wrote some lyrics out, and I think I'm ready to record it. So the plan of attack here, basically record a ton of vocals. I'm going to try and get those falsetto vocals and then layer them a bunch. He's got like a ton of layers on those vocals. So I'm going to try doing that because I don't think if I just put one single falsetto vocal, it will sound very good. But yeah, I'll probably start out, I'll record the main vocal, and then I will record all the other vocals beneath it. I'm just going to do some vocal warm-ups because this is probably going to be a heavy session. All right, so after a million takes of that, if you can see all these little areas, typically when I record vocals, I know a lot of people will just record 40 times and then comp all the good takes. I like to just do a take, listen to it. If it sucks, I'll redo it until I get one good take. I find that's better for me, but if you like comping them, like doing 10, 15 takes and then going through, then do what works best for you, but this is kind of just how I do it. These vocals aren't in tune yet or anything. I kind of just have like the verse vocals here and the chorus. And now we're just going to stack a bunch of layers on it and make it sound ambient. Like right now, as you can hear, it's definitely lacking layers. So like if I play it, I've been thinking of letting this go. It's basically missing that huge stack of layers. So I'm just going to record a bunch now and see what we can get to. And do about 6 layers, I think. I don't want to go too crazy. So basically, I'm just going to sing this all through 6 times. And hopefully my voice forgives me. I've been thinking of letting this go. I've been. So now compare that thin sounding one vocal to a bunch of vocals. And I didn't time align them because I feel like in these songs, if they're too aligned, I don't think it'll sound good. I think you want those imperfections there. I've been thinking of letting this go. So it sounds a lot better like with the more layers. Might add another layer here, a couple layers. Like when I say, in a life I don't know. In a life I don't know. In a life I don't know. All right, so that is a bunch of layers. So basically, we just went through the verses right now, went through a bunch of layers. So with all the vocals on their own in these verses, this is what they kind of sound like. I've been thinking of letting this go. So lots of layers. I didn't really do any harmonies. I just kind of sung the first vocal the same way. On a couple areas here, I did some harmonies like here. But I kept it pretty simple. I don't want to get too complicated because I sometimes do that and then it doesn't sound good. And I'm liking the way this is sounding. So I just basically layered it a ton of times. I'm going to work. Next, I'm going to go on to the chorus and see if we can spice that up a little bit as well. I'm probably going to do the same thing. I may do some additional harmonies on the chorus just to make it sound a little bit better. But we'll see kind of what we get. So I'm going to work on that next. And yeah, we're getting very close here. All right, so that's a ton of layers there. All right, and here's kind of the chorus on its own. Control. I've been fighting on my own. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it. Oh. So pretty layered. I feel like I could probably make a better hook melody, but I've tried and I put in the time and that's as good as I'm getting right now. But I think it's at the point where we can do a good listen through here and I would give my final thoughts and kind of wrap things up. All right, so I really like how that turned out. I really loved the vocal melody on the verses, the intro, those ambient background vocals in the intro with the violin pad. I think it really all kind of came together really nice. Yeah, and then the layered vocals really kind of brought everything out a lot better on those verses. Obviously, if I was to sing a falsetto, the vocals just would have sounded too thin. And especially for ambient folk, it sounds great when there's a lot of layers there. It really hits that like ambient folk sound. Obviously, it's not mixed and mastered, so sonically it could probably do a lot better. For the sake of this video, it's more of the creative process of how to produce a song, not mixing advice. And yeah, the one thing I think I could have done better is the chorus vocal melody. It's good, don't get me wrong, but I think I could have done better. I typically, when I'm struggling with a vocal melody somewhere, I'll just kind of go over and over and over bunch of different melodies, and then at some point in time it just hits. So I got it to maybe 70% of what I could do there, but for time's sake I think this is good enough. And you never know, maybe I'll release this song. I've never released an ambient folk song, but who knows, maybe it's something that I will release someday. Anyways, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Lots more videos just like this coming, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos. And if anyone's looking for a producer to produce their next track, shoot me a message on Instagram at LukeProv and we can try and work something out. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.